Good evening, YouTube family. T.O. here, back at you. I know I still got the same clothes on. Different day. I don't know. Not sure if you guys caught that or not, but hey, 2 video recordings in one night. This time we're coming at you with Lake Bob Sandlin. We're going to jump into the Google Earth waypoints. As always, these waypoints are in the video description. And if you missed my last video that I did on Benbrook Lake, I'm actually working on setting up a Square store so that you guys can purchase these cards from us. So stay tuned. Should have that out here in a couple of weeks. Once I get my seller's permit, we'll be ready to go. But in the meantime, let's jump into it. Lake Bob Sandlin, here we go. So as promised, here we go with Lake Bob Sandlin. Now I broke this one down. We'll do this in probably 4 different video segments. This first segment is going to really cover what I call Zone 1. So here you see all of the 2 zones, Zone 1 and Zone 2. I'm going to square this down and make it for just Zone 1. So for tonight, we're going to focus just on Zone 1. So let's start up here on this little pocket. And the main thing I wanted to show you guys here was just a real nice creek channel that's inside of here. Let me go back and get our dates drawn back here where we can get to where we can see some good stuff. So I've got October of 2012 is the image that I'm looking at. And if we look back in here, we can see a real good creek channel that's coming through here. So it definitely scan around there, take a look around there, fish the things that are around that creek channel, the stumps, things like that. That can be a really good area. And then moving on down here, when I come down by the bridge, didn't see too much here, just a couple boat ramps. Moving on here, there was some underwater brush that I did pick up around here. So you can see here, a little bit of brush pile going on here, probably in the water a little bit when the lake was up. So a pretty decent brush pile to fish around, flip around, things like that. Then moving on over here, I'm just gonna keep on going. Not too much back in this pocket that I did see, but I did see a down tree that was back here. I'm gonna try to scroll in here again. Got a nice down tree that's right there, real shallow pocket. And then of course back here you got another boat ramp. So I'm gonna scroll this back out. We're gonna keep going down the bank line looking for some good stuff here. Did find a submerged log that was over here. And I do wanna say as we're going through this video, there were a lot of laydowns on this lake, especially when we get into Zone 2. There's several bank lines that have tons of laydowns. So I didn't mark every laydown, but what I did mark is laydowns and submerged logs, things like that, that kind of stood out. Like if they were on a bank line like this one where there wasn't a lot going on and then all of a sudden, boom, you've got a laydown. Those are definitely the ones that I marked. So you'll see that as we go through. You can always download these waypoints and update the other laydowns that you see. But these are just the ones that I marked as far as the ones I'd pay attention to if I were to go out there. Some more submerged logs here and another one here. So you've got really 3 coming off the edge of this point that you could focus on. Another one here as well. Pretty good laydown. If we scroll in here, you can see that one's pretty good size. And then some more here, submerged logs, just kind of random throughout these bank lines. Like I said, on Zone 2, we're going to get into it. You'll see it. They'll just be clumps of laydowns that you can focus on. So it looks like it could be a lot of fun, especially if they were on the brush piles or the laydowns at that time. Got some more brush piles over here by this dock and another submerged log. And then kind of moving up the bank line, we're going to get up here. There's a real nice submerged log and a pile that's out here by this dock. You can see here the real nice pile there that shows up, and then this real good log that's over here. So all good spots to take a look at. Going to keep on moving up here. We've got some more potential brush pile here. It looked like, I couldn't really tell what it was, but it looked like it was a brush pile. Again, we've got a submerged log out here between these 2 docks to look around, fish around, Texas rig, all that good stuff. And then here is a drainage ditch. At first I thought it might be like an old boat ramp or something, but it looks like maybe it's a drainage ditch of some sort. But definitely something to focus on. They love those areas, especially if you've had some running water recently coming into that area. Coming up in here, just kind of a stump field that I marked. Some areas, that might be worth just coming out here and checking out. I'm not sure what's going on here. You notice this water discoloration? It's very interesting. So maybe just take a look around this area. Just see if anything's setting up in this area. Could be a good spot. Could be a total waste of time. Then if we move up here, we've got a real good creek channel that shows up in here. You can see it bends out all the way out here. So you could just follow this creek channel and fish around this creek channel all the way out and just maneuver your way in here all the way to the back where it basically just becomes a complete flat. So real good area to look at. Probably have some real good depth change between this side and that side. So definitely a good area to go take a look at and fish around. So we're going to move up. You guys are probably going to laugh at me, but I marked every single drainage ditch that was on this bank line. And the reason why I did is just because, again, if you've got moving water of any sort or any water coming out of there, those are going to be real good hot spots. Now, these look like it's, this one looks like it's pretty far away because the lake's drawn down. But when we look at it when the lake is up, it's actually a lot better. And you can tell that these drainage ditches, if this will catch up with me, these drainage ditches really aren't that far away from the water. They're really close to it. So these could all be good areas, especially if they've created some sort of a ditch out below them. So take a look at those, could be a good hot spot. Again, all these spots I haven't got to check out, so some of them might be a waste of time, but these are areas that I would definitely take a look at. Moving on back in here, there is some additional debris and some timber back in here, some more timber, some birch logs, and then a real good ditch that's right in here that you can see. So I really like that. That looked really good. And I like the fact there's all kinds of cover to fish around too. That's always a plus for me for sure. So then moving back in here, found some additional stuff, just kind of random things, but some pretty good brush piles. You got one here, another one here, another one here, another one here. So you really got 4 brush piles right in that area with some hydrilla or something going on there. Not sure if that's hydrilla, but some sort of a grass or something. All right, so then I'm going to move on down. Do have some stumps that are off of this little point. This looked pretty interesting here. Just some stumps coming off this secondary point. There's not a lot going on. There are stumps around in this area, but not too much right in this exact area. So this looks like it could be a spot where they might set up on a nice little point that comes out, access to a little bit deeper water. All could be good stuff. I didn't mark this. I should have. I don't know how I missed it, but there is a pond back in here. So this looks like it could be pretty healthy. And right around in here, right in this pinch point right here could be a really good area. So take a look at that, and then also take a look at this little ditch right here too. It's amazing how many things I'll find after I go and review this thing 3 or 4 times, and then as I'm doing the live video, I find even more stuff that I want to fish. So anyways, going on down here, we got another lay down on this bank line, and then look at this creek channel. It looks juicy right up against the bank line, hugs all the way back in here. Just looks really, really good. And I think if you're out there just fishing normally, you wouldn't really understand that there's a creek channel that's running right along that bank line. So this is good stuff. This is great areas to fish, good hot spot to be taking a look at. Also back in here, take a look at this ditch. This ditch is very significant through here and right in here. So all good areas, especially if you're up there fishing shallow. Take a look at these spots. These could be good spots, and some of them look like they're off the bank a little ways. So you're not too shallow. You might be in 3-4 foot of water, but you still got a pretty good significant ditch there. All right, so I'm going to pull this back, and we're going to keep on going. A couple other things down in here. You do have a brush pile that's over here by this dock that you can see, and an isolated log that's right out off of this point. And take a look at these areas too, where these little pinch points come in. Sometimes those can be good spots. So take a look at that. If you're over here fishing these logs in the brush pile, it's worth a try just to go over there and just look at it. All right, you got some more laydowns here. And then again, here's where we go. We got some bank lines with laydowns just all over the place. So I didn't mark all of them. Basically just kind of left them alone and looked for things that were more isolated. So like here, you get up into a more of a flat area here. There's not a lot going on, but you've got a really good, nice laydown right there. So that could be a good spot to take a look at. And then you got a nice ditch that's back in here too that I marked as well. That's really kind of off the beaten path. People might not think there's much back there. And then all of a sudden you're sitting on this honey hole right here where these ditches are. You got some more ditches back in here. And then a really good creek channel back here that I marked for you guys. You can see that really makes a really good indention in the land. So real good stuff there. I think you guys will really enjoy fishing those creek channels once you get used to them. Some more things here. You've seen me mark the weed lines before. I did it on Lake Levon. I did it on some other ones. I didn't see a lot of weed lines necessarily on Lake Bob Sandlin, but here I did find a few. So there's a pretty good weed line right here that you'll see. And then you got some laydowns that are right by it too. So all good looking areas. Here you got a good creek channel that's coming out. And then as we scroll on down, we have another high spot or a debris spot that's right here. So this looks like it could be really, really shallow, but I do like how it has a high spot here. And this almost looks like an underwater roadbed or something going on here. So if I came back here, I'd probably fish around that hump, maybe fish back in here, depending on what's back in there. And then maybe just check that out and see if that is a roadbed, because if it is a roadbed, that could be a really good area to take a look at. We're going to keep on moving down here. We got a really good creek channel in here as well. You can see here some really good depressions. I'll give you guys a secret. I was actually out at Lake of the Pines fishing the regionals, or I wasn't. Lana was fishing the regionals, but I was pre-fishing with them. And part of the job as my captain is to put them on a fish. And so what I did is we were back there fishing a flat. Pre-fishing, it worked out great. Obviously, tournament day, it sucked, but pre-fishing day, it worked out great. And what we did is I went in and marked all the depressions that were in the flat. So like these depressions here, I just put a bunch of marks around each one of the depressions. And when they were back there fishing that flat, all they would do is just fish the creek channel and the depressions that I marked for them on my graph. And again, the 2 pre-fishing days we had up to that, prior to that tournament, were great fishing days. Like we actually got to fish. They didn't let us fish a week before, but we got to fish the Friday before that tournament. The tournament was on Saturday, and Friday we had like 18 pounds. And then of course Saturday we come out with like 6.5 or something. It was horrible. But anyways, my point is, take a look at these depressions that are back here in these flats. Sometimes they can be great places to fish. The creek channel I've harped on enough, but these depressions can also be really good spots. Also around these bridges, just fish around the corner of the bridges every time. I think everybody knows that. All right, so then we got some more boat ramps going on in here. Another lay down on this bank line. Then moving on over. Got several lay downs that were in this area. So if we look at this little dock line, you can tell there's lay downs just all in this area. So I didn't really have a particular one to mark, but I did want to say, hey, there's a lot in this area. This could be a pretty good area depending on how they're setting up, time of year, stuff like that. But take a look at that. It could also be a good area for crappie too. All right, so moving on over here. Looks like a lot of pads or something going on in here. Didn't see too much going on here. Did have a laydown that was pretty significant between these 2 docks. If you look here, I'll scroll in, you'll start to see it. Pretty good sized tree that's laid down right between those 2 docks and right on the edge of a ledge or something. So it could be a good one to take a look at. Got another boat ramp over here off the edge of this point. And then let me make sure I don't go too far here, because I know I'm working my way back up. All right, so going on in here, we've got a couple more boat ramps just kind of hidden. So if you're on that boat ramp pattern, that'd be good. If you're on the laydown pattern, some more laydowns here. Got a laydown out here that's in pretty good depth. And then another one up here that's pretty shallow. I keep scrolling up until I get around this point. I don't know what this is. I couldn't tell if it was rock or debris or what, but it sticks out like a sore thumb compared to everything else around here. So check that out, just see what it is. It could be a big piece of rock or something. Can't really tell what it is. Man, trees galore on this lake, so be careful. Another boat ramp here, kind of hidden. And then scrolling on down here, not seeing too much on this bank line. There were just a lot of laydowns, so I didn't want to mark them all because there just wasn't anything that stood out, all by itself. Back in here, though, there was a very large group of laydowns that's back in here. You can see, huge group of laydowns right here. There's another one here, here, and right in here. So this area could be a good area to focus on. All right, we're going to scroll around. We're going to go past that little point there, and we get to this side. We've got some more laydowns by this dock. You can see that one pretty good, so it's got to be pretty good size. If I'm scrolled that far out, I can see it. And then there's another one down here, another laydown in this area. And then if we keep scrolling down, we've got more laydowns down in here. Some shallow rocks that were back in here. Didn't see too many rocks on this lake, believe it or not. Saw a few, and we'll mark them, but not too many. But this one looked interesting because it is kind of back here, the back of a pocket. Got a little deep channel going on here, and they got some shallow rocks right here on this side. So be worth going up there, throwing a square bill or something like that, see if you can get something going. Then back in here, you got a real significant creek channel that actually makes a split. So I went ahead and marked that creek channel for you guys. So you've got her all the way down in here, all the way down this side as well. And then as we work our way back up, I've marked that creek channel from the very beginning. Again, always good hot spots if you can focus in on those creek channels. This looks interesting too. Looks like it may have been an old pond or something. I didn't want to mark it because I wasn't sure that's what it was, but a little pinch point there that we talked about. These little pond dams here could be good. And then this little pinch point right here. So I didn't mark it on the Google Earth waypoints, but might want to take a look at that. I keep on scrolling back up here. Got a couple more spots I just wanted you guys to check out. Wasn't sure about this, if this is deep or not, so check it out. It looks like some sort of a laydown or something. And then you got a boat ramp that's kind of buried way back in here. That looks like it might have some depth or some kind of wall right in here. So it might be worth tucking back in there and just checking it out. Then we're gonna get up here. We're back up around the bridge. We've got another boat ramp here. We've got some debris and some concrete that was off at this point. I'll scroll in here so you guys can see it. Right here is the concrete. It looks like, I don't know if it's an old road or what that is. And then some additional debris that was down here right off at this point. And then over here, we've got a really good creek channel back in here. So let me scroll back here and show you guys this. Real good creek channel coming out in front of that dock and just kind of winds around. So all good areas to take a look at. And again, if you didn't have these points, you'd probably just be pounding the bank, and the best fishing spot's actually right where your boat's setting. So take a look at these creek channels, download them, get what you can. Wait for me to get my Square Shop up, and I'll get you these cards out to you, whatever you need to do, but let's get these points over to you guys. All right, then moving on down, we got a boat ramp here, another laydown in here that's pretty significant. We've got some shallow rock that's over off of this point. Again, not a lot of rock on this lake, so if you find it, fish it. Some more rock that was back here by this dock as well. You can see here if I scroll in, some big old pieces of chunky, big old rock. So could be a good area right there. Really like how that sets up. Moving in here, we got some more rocks. After I just said there weren't many, there's a few back in here. There's another laydown right in here. Pretty good size. Another one going this way. And that might actually be the tree standing up. And the laydown's actually right below it, but there's definitely a laydown going this way. Got some shallow rocks that are kind of hidden here in the shadows, but there's rocks all along this bank line right here. You can see it starts here and it ends somewhere over in here. So a good spot to take a look at. There's some shallow rocks right in here as well. And then we're moving around that point. We come back in here and there's a nice drainage pipe right here. Sometimes these drainage pipes are horrible. They don't give you anything. And then other times I've gone in and I've fished like a drainage pipe or a gas pipe, and it's been like the golden spot of the lake. So from now on, I just go ahead and if I see a pipe coming out, go ahead and just fish around it. It takes like 5 minutes to fish it. And sometimes it can be the best spot you'll find on the lake. So take a look at the drainage pipe. If you don't catch a fish there, don't blame me. Just keep fishing them. Eventually you're going to catch one. And then go on down, we got another brush pile here, just random bank line, and then a real nice brush pile just right in the middle of it. So a real good spot right there. Again, you crappie guys, that can be a good spot to take a look at. And then we got a real good creek channel back in here as well that I marked for you guys. And if you wanted to do additional points, you could probably come over here and mark these little depressions. That could be a creek channel right there, not sure, but I would mark those little deeper spots. Then as we move up here, we've got a couple more laydowns in this little pocket. One right there, one right here that you can see that are pretty good size. That was right off the dock, so it'd be really easy to locate. Scroll back out here, take you guys back up here. Up here, we've got another boat ramp, kind of hidden. I think it's a boat ramp, not even sure what it is. Could be an old roadbed too. And then some additional rocks that are right around this point on this side. And then over here, you've got another boat ramp that's right off the side here. And I believe, guys, that takes us into the end of Zone 1 for Bob Sandlin. Hope you guys are enjoying this thing. Again, my waypoints are in the video description. There's a KML link and a KMZ link. And as I mentioned before, I'm working on the store site. Hope to have that up here in about a couple weeks. And then once I get that up, all of the videos that we've done on the Google Earth waypoints, we'll be able to put those on our card for you for either Humminbird, Garmin, or Lawrence, and get those out to you where all you basically have to do is just plug them into your finder and basically import the waypoints, make it really easy for you guys. Hey, until next time, really appreciate it. Tight lines. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button. We'll talk to you soon.